Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Post
Hola.
Credits Podcast, a podcast where we talk about movies. This is episode 4, and on this episode, we discuss our experience watching Red One from Amazon. That was once not theatrical, but now is theatrical. I'm one of your hosts,
Yes.
Grayson Maxwell. Joining me as I do every week are the lovely Roger Stillion and Chris Bond. Gentlemen, how are you? This is take number 4, so hopefully it'll be okay.
Yeah,
You know, you don't have to tell people that.
I know I don't.
We also got the
No
double
way.
lovely. Did you like that?
Yeah, no.
Oh, all right. Fair enough.
Okay, so I'll just mark lovely off of the words.
Yeah. Just start keeping a running list and find the one that like is just perfect. You know what I mean? We'll get there eventually.
No,
So
probably will not.
necessary is off the limits, and lovely is now off limits. So Roger,
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
find a word for
We'll
you.
whittle it down, baby.
Lovely will continue to work for me. I have no.
Good thing
qualms
there's
with
lots of adjectives out there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Guys, what's going on this week? How are you, Chris? Are you better from last week?
Yep. Family stuff's taken care of. Back in studio, and which is looking more like a studio. So
You were a disembodied voice last week.
yeah. Well, it happens. I also couldn't get my OBS to work. Just more things to work out with the new setup here. So it is what it is.
It's good.
I'll be your OBS. That's what.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
do.
Oh yeah.
There you
Well,
go.
what did you guys watch this week? Anything beyond like the stuff we're usually watching?
I did. I watched the Mark Wahlberg family trifecta of Daddy's Home, Daddy's Home 2, and Instant Family.
Why?
I find those movies to be incredibly funny, but then again, like I love the Mel Gibson aspect in the second one, as he's always making fun of the two co-dads. I think that's hilarious.
No.
I like Instant Family's one I haven't watched.
Instant Family's a
in a while.
good movie.
Okay.
The other two movies are not.
I've
good.
never seen Instant Family.
Instant Family is actually a decent movie.
Yeah. Okay.
It's about a
It's
family
really
that ends up with 3 foster kids.
Oh,
or
all
whatever. It's a good story.
Gotcha.
The rest of the Daddy's no. God no.
Isn't that the
I
one like where one of them's a dad and their daughter's dating some like shitty guy or something, or is that a different movie
No,
I'm thinking of?
That's a different.
I mean, that's 1,000 different shitty dad
Yeah.
movies, though.
Yeah.
I think the one
okay.
you're thinking of is with.
No,
Tom-
you're thinking of Transformers with Cade Yeager. Like,
No, the one
because that actually happens in the Cade
No, no,
Yeager
no,
Transformers.
You're thinking of Why Him? Is that what you're
maybe
thinking of?
it's got Franco in it.
Yeah, that's why. Him.
Okay, gotcha.
I
Yeah,
knew it.
yeah.
I knew you were thinking of Why Him.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Ugh.
funny. Also,
No.
I wonder where we're going with. I just wonder where we're going with like the U.S. studio made comedy now, because like I also watched Hangover, which is a masterpiece if you ask.
Sure,
me.
the first one, sure.
Mhm.
Beyond brilliant, but like it's also a movie you cannot make today because like even like the first like so much of the comedy in the beginning is based on words that we just can't say anymore.
I can just laugh at things that I know that you can't even repeat on this show at
Like,
this
when
point.
he's like paging doctor, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Like that's
what kind of
hilarious.
doctor was he?
And then he tries to kiss his girlfriend, and she's like, they're paging you, doctor. And then like she says, like it's just
Mhm.
it's funny and it's made in like the spirit of comedy, but like
There's not even a strip club in wine country, is there?
I think that movie's hilarious.
Oh, it is.
Just the ball got dropped with the second two, but
Well, okay. So out of the two, which one's the worst one?
2.
2 is by far the worst. And
Is
then
it?
3's
Okay.
and then I think
Three's okay.
Three's okay, right?
But it's
Okay.
again though, they were just trying to chase the first one. then-
Yeah.
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 well, they lean too
I agree
heavily
with that.
on the Galifianakis character becoming like this weird like Dawn of Godfather type thing. And
Yeah.
Leslie Chow. It's like they just lean too heavily on those two elements and not enough on like
Mm.
the guys that made it popular. But yeah, I really enjoy that one quite a
Mhm.
bit.
Oh,
I
yeah.
watched some World War II docs on Netflix, which I will state that like Netflix does
Your
excellent
streaming history must
documentaries.
just be insane.
It's wild. It's wild.
His recommended list is just yes. Like it just
The algorithm is it's never failed him.
this guy will watch anything. What do we do?
Well, wait, are you saying someone shouldn't watch World War II docs?
No. I'm just saying. After talking about how you watch a trifecta of Mark Wahlberg family movies, Hangover, then you followed up with a bunch of World War II docs. Like it's just
Well,
It's
I'm
different.
back to
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm back to like after work. I come home. I get some food. I sit down and watch something because like now I'm working on a film again, and it's I'm trying to get back into that groove of things. But yeah, it's a lot of watching now, which I don't mind 'cause I love it. But I go out, I walk, I try to run for a mile or two. walk for a
That was
mile or
Net.
two.
That was one of Netflix's first like really like selling points was the fact that it had access to the History Channel and all of its old stuff. So that like early in its days, going away from the CD DVD in the mail, was the fact that it had the rights to everything the History Channel ever did.
I don't want to. I'm sorry. I don't want to.
No, you're good.
Want to cut in. Talk about
Yeah.
CDs and stuff in the mail and DVDs. So, you guys know Redbox went out of business?
No, I didn't.
Redbox went bankrupt. They are gone.
Whoa.
I went down this rabbit hole on Reddit this past weekend.
Mhm.
So Redbox is bankrupt. So like they can't even come pick up their boxes. So like if there's a Redbox somewhere, like outside of a Dollar General, if you just ask, they might let you just take it. Like I'm not even
What?
kidding around.
That's
like
crazy.
Fuck yeah, it is. Like that's incredible. Because like they're full of things like games and DVDs and
Yeah.
Blu-rays and shit.
Holy crap.
That's actually kind of
'Cause-
awesome.
Yeah.
How is
I
that
really
legal though? That's like not even how
They
is that
don't-
legal.
if they say you could take it, you could just take it. There's no repercussions to it.
I mean, allegedly. If anyone,
I mean, like, look, I don't care.
That's fair.
The
I
other
mean,
one,
look,
the other one is too, because like I guess they're supposed to be powered down because they're just supposed to be
Yeah.
destroyed.
Yep.
So, some of them are letting them power them on, and if you put in a credit card, since you can't upload things, you can just pull the movies out.
All right then.
Yeah,
oh my
I'm pretty
God.
sure there's still one at the Dollar General here in this town, and I
that's-
might go check it out.
there's
You'll
one-
drive past that on your way out,
Yep.
Chris. Let me know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll go check it out. I'll go push some buttons. We'll see what
That's
You know what?
kinda
That Dollar
awesome,
General's
though.
open until 10. You can just stop in and ask if you can have it.
happens.
I'll be there in 5
I
minutes.
might be calling you. I might be calling you to help me lift something.
So they actually say they weigh about 700 pounds to bring a dolly. So
Bring your sister. I don't know. Like,
say
do you guys got a dolly?
the dolly. Yeah, I'll get a dolly. Sure, I got an appliance dolly.
Yeah, we can
hell
do
yeah.
it.
There you go.
Nice. All right. Well,
Getting
that's
that bad
cool.
boy tonight.
I didn't know they were going to
Just
business.
open that
That's
up
rough.
next to my beer fridge is my fucking red box in my garage. What would you like to watch tonight, guys? Beep boop. And it's-
How entertained would you be to tell people to, hey, just go pick something out of my red box machine in the basement? You know what I mean?
Okay, would you
In the
actually put it in your
garage.
basement, or would you put it in your living room, like right next to your entertainment
It's good on
center?
my porch. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Have like the neighborhood's red
Yeah,
box.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome that they just like went out of
They
business.
don't
and you
care.
can just take it.
I mean, I don't know if that's awesome. that they
Well,
just went
I
out
know
of
what he
business.
meant.
Yeah,
I know
they
what he
get-
was saying.
like all those people lost their jobs. That's great.
No, that's not what I meant. I just, I meant like that's really awesome. They're just like, okay, well, we can't do anything with it, so
Yeah.
someone can just have it if they want
God,
it. But
it's weird that all the physical renting services are going out of business. It's weird.
Well, I mean, the other thing is too, like if you had a movie out when they went bankrupt, like what happens then?
I mean, they're not going to pursue. They're gonna
No,
have to
that's
pay,
not what I
so,
mean. But like,
Yeah.
you're just in some weird limbo. Like, was I supposed to return that, or
I'm good.
no,
I'm gonna-
I think it's just
somebody's
yours
out there
to-
watching a
This is
4K
mine now,
4K Blu-ray of Barbie, going, I get to keep this now, I guess.
Yep, they're winning. Yes. What else
mean-
is going on, guys? Anything?
No. I mean, past the red box excitement, I got nothing.
Yeah. Didn't really watch too much of anything else this week besides.
No, you had a busy week.
What we talked about, had a busy week. I feel like I watched something. Oh, watched a lot of British Bake Off because its new season is out and up to date at this point.
Yeah,
so-
we do that now, huh?
Yeah, no, me and my wife have watched it for years
Okay.
and years.
Oh,
and
I
years.
mean, that makes
Where,
sense.
where are you guys with Ted Lasso?
That was my other bring up.
Or am I
think
done?
We watched 4
Numero
episodes
uno.
of Ted Lasso last night as well.
Are you
So
You almost
we
done?
we are like season 3, episode 8. at
Oh,
this
you're
point,
close.
So we're almost done with
2
it.
to go, baby.
Yep.
I don't know how you stop. Like I can't stop. Like when a new episode, like I. Just
I
have
mean,
to watch
sometimes
the
you have to
episode
go to
every time.
sleep.
Yeah, when you've got
Sure.
like kids and jobs and stuff, it's weird.
Yeah.
You gotta like do other things, So
I don't know. Apple TV stuff that I watched. Silo came back.
I saw that advertised. It looks
Um,
like it might be up my alley.
So Silo's a good book series.
Mhm.
There's 3 or 4 books. I've run the whole series. So the second season kicked off. So it's nice. It's episodic though, so you can wait a little bit and
Gotcha.
binge them all at once. It was nice though to catch back up because it's been about a year since that one came out. So I'm
All
super excited for that to come back.
Hmm.
It's well made. All the TV shows on Apple TV seem to be pretty well made. So
Yeah, I told when we saw the thing for Silo, Lacey said something about hey, that could be one of the next ones we watch. I said if I don't watch For All Mankind, Roger might actually stop being my
yeah.
friend.
So like, look,
So I need to watch that one.
That is A+ sci-fi.
Yeah.
Silo is like dystopian future
Mhm.
style,
which
so-
I also dig.
sure. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, For All Mankind is she'll dig that one more than Silo.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Hmm.
I get it.
Does Silo have like Fallout vibes or?
No, it's a different kind of dystopian future. So it's like it's in the future. Where the Silo is a place where like 10,000 people live. They've lived for like 400 years completely underground. in a silo. Basically, it's like an underground shopping mall that just goes straight down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
So
pretty cool. I mean, they have it advertised everywhere in Los
sure,
Angeles, so
yeah.
I
I
might
mean, it's
check
a big
that
deal.
out.
It's got a big cast. It's got famous, like good, like A-level people in it. So Rebecca Ferguson is the lead. Tim Robbins is in it. Like there's real people here. So yeah, it's a good
Alright.
story.
I have to check
I
that
dig
one
it.
out, man.
Yeah.
I really do. I see it. It's fucking everywhere, man. Everywhere you look, there's a Silo
Mm.
ad everywhere, every sign. So I'll check that
All
one
right.
out.
Hit us with the agenda, Grayson. What we got going
The
on?
agenda this week. Well, the agenda this week is we will be discussing box office, as always. The recommendation brought to us this week by Christopher. We have a
Brother Chris.
Then we're going to talk about big box office bombs that were also huge, that had huge bloated budgets. Because I think Red One kind of falls into that category.
Kind of.
It does. I don't. Not kind of. It definitely does. But it's a good one
Yes.
to discuss. And then I'd like to talk about like the Amazon involvement as opposed to what we think the Red One version looks like on YouTube, or sorry, on Netflix or like Hulu, like what those versions would have looked like. You know what I
If it
mean?
was on Netflix, it'd probably
Yeah.
be more expensive. It would cost $800 million.
Right, tell it. And then of course talk about Red One, gentlemen.
All
But
right.
if you forgot, once again, folks, this is episode 4 of Post Credits Podcast, where we talk about movies in the form of theatrical or a streaming film. Please bear with us as we move closer to the full launch of Gladiator 2, which is actually next week as we are recording this on November 17th, 2024. But we're very excited for the full launch coming very soon. Gentlemen, without further ado, we should jump into the box office.
Yeah, let's do
I
it.
hope you guys are ready for the box office. It is a doozy of a letdown, but let me tell you why. Red One, number 1, 34.1 million with a very disappointing worldwide to Amazon, I'm sure, total of 84 million. What do we think about that?
I don't know. Is that?
That's not. I mean, that's not the worst box office you could
Yeah.
have
It's
for a
No, but
$250 million movie.
I
though,
think they were
maybe.
probably expecting something bigger. And this is like, maybe this is a weird take, but like, I think like the movies coming out in the next week is in the form of like Gladiator 2 and Wicked are really going to cut into that demographic.
well,
too.
Wicked's going to eat everything.
Yeah.
I want you to know
I
that.
still disagree with you on that.
It's
I
okay.
can't wait.
You can.
Yeah.
So wait, you think Wicked will do more? Like we'll have a bigger opening week than Gladiator 2?
Wicked will do more money than Gladiator 2 and Red One combined.
I'll take
Well,
that.
okay.
I'll
Red
take
One by that point will be nothing. So yes.
No,
Opening week,
that's
Red
easy.
One.
Oh,
Thank you.
Well,
Oh, okay.
Are we doing domestics or worldwide?
Domestic. All of it.
Domestic.
Okay,
yeah.
fine. Okay, then I won't take that bet. But
It's like,
I don't
look,
think. Hey, I don't think
it
Wicked's
is
gonna do
fully
much worldwide.
expected that Wicked will bring home a triple-digit box office.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
100 million plus.
Domestic?
Yes.
Yep.
Ooh,
Huge.
I don't know, man.
It's
number
got everything in its favor, though.
Yeah.
Number
All right,
2,
we'll see, we'll
Venom,
see.
The Last Dance, still going strong. 7.4 million domestic with a worldwide of 436. I feel like they're probably pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
best.
because I mean, like the movie's not good, so
Yeah, the
you
money
can
it's
only be
making
so
is-
happy with
Sure.
things.
It's definitely.
You know, we need
punching up.
more Venom in different colors.
Yeah, we do. Speaking of the best Christmas pageant ever, number 3, 5.4 million with a worldwide of 19 million. That's not doing very well, but
So
the budget couldn't have been big on that.
we didn't talk about that at all, like coming out. So
Mhm.
it's because it's not a movie that we would really ever
No.
talk about. But
No.
like that's a movie coming out like just before the real crack into the holiday season, and up until like 3 weeks ago, I'd never heard of. So
Yep.
it's just like, what do you be? I don't know.
Well,
I go to
it's
the
just-
movies every week, man. Like I should know what this is.
Yeah.
Well, I've been seeing that trailer now since like July, so it's definitely been out there.
Well,
On what though?
It's been on things.
Like-
I've been seeing it for a while now.
not well. Okay, but like honestly, we haven't right. Like, in our area, it hasn't
Yeah,
popped up or nothing. But
it's
like,
not.
so Red One came out of nowhere. It wasn't around, wasn't talked about. Then all of a sudden, its marketing was all over our theater. Like you couldn't,
Sure.
you can't look in a single direction from any angle and not see Red One advertisement. So like, obviously, a marketing campaign went into full swing at some point for that film. Didn't happen for for whatever one you just said. You know what I mean?
Best
So
Christmas pageant ever.
yeah. So like, for some reason they didn't push very hard to market that movie, and like I don't know, I don't even know much about it at this point, and I talk about movies every week. So
Well,
I mean,
just
it's good.
buried.
It's small budget,
Yeah.
filmed in Canada, $10 million. So it's just made his money back.
good for them.
So well, yeah, I mean, win.
Yeah,
That is definitely a win. Yeah,
their
Get
marketing
out there and get
budget's
that dub.
got to be zero. You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely.
close to it.
So I mean, like again, it's like it's a very slow box office week. Heretic, number 4, 5.2 million, with a worldwide of just 25, which is disappointing because I think Heretic. I've been doing some thinking on this. I think Heretic is good enough to be in the Best Picture of the Year talk. I really do. I really do think it's.
Wait, do
The
you
more I
think?
think about Heretic,
Okay,
it's great.
this isn't a challenging question. Do you mean as like best picture or Hugh Grant as best actor?
No, well, I mean, I could
Because I
see
would
either.
challenge you like a best picture. I don't know, but Hugh Grant as lead actor, sure.
Well, no, I could see Hugh Grant. I could also see it up for Best Pick. I mean, I don't think you have much competition this year though for Best Pick. I mean, I could see it on a list of 10, absolutely, because now
Okay.
Less
now,
of
now
10,
we
yeah,
get 10.
but that's deep, right?
Sure, but now we
Yeah.
get 10, so they got to put 10 movies on there.
Okay, that's fair.
Like I don't think there are 10 movies this year that I would, at least not yet. I mean, look, the year's not over, but I mean, I don't think there's 10 movies that I would pick for that list yet. But
We're getting
again,
close-
I
we're
didn't
getting close
see
to
all
the
the small
Oscars,
releases.
boys.
Yeah, we are a couple months away.
Deadpool.
Well, I mean, The Wild Robot, number 5, still going strong. 4.3 million domestic.
There's your
Worldwide,
Oscar winner, baby.
Mhm.
308. Well, that's the thing is.
Well, Oscar nominee.
well,
Sorry, may not be a
that's
winner.
That's the thing is, I mean, it's something to talk about in weeks to come. But I mean, it's got. I think it's a better movie I mean, maybe not by far, but it is a better movie noticeably by me than Inside Out 2. It scored better on all the metrics than Inside Out 2. So like if it doesn't win, what's it going by? That's what I need to ask you
It's
guys.
gonna be close.
Yeah.
But like what that's what I don't get is like the critics liked it more, the audience liked it more. It's got better scores all around. So if it loses to Inside Out 2, what does that tell you?
Your open besmirchment of Inside Out 2 is not appreciated, sir, and I will fight you on that. But
Well,
it's
fine,
fine.
but-
I understand where you're coming from. I liked Wild Robot a lot as well, like a lot. And Inside Out 2 is, if it's behind it, it's not by very much.
No, it's a pretty close race.
Well,
But,
I have a theory.
They're both excellent animated movies. by
Oh
the way.
yeah.
I have a theory that Inside Out 2 won't be chosen for a specific reason but I wonder if I'm right. So I won't talk about that now, but I wonder if I'm right about that. However, numbers 6 through 10
Was that
may-
foreshadowing?
Yeah, right.
Sure. Well, yeah, that's the very definition of foreshadowing of what's to come. Yeah. 6 through 10.
Mm.
Smile 2, Conclave, Hello, Love Again, A Real Pain, and Honora. 5 movies you haven't heard of. Well, Smile 2 and Conclave, sure. But I'm A Real Pain. That's with Eisenberg and Culkin. I see that advertised everywhere also.
Yeah.
I'd like to see
It's
that.
big
That's pretty-
independent right now.
Mhm.
But it's making some money. We Live in Time. I'm surprised that didn't make more money given the cast. I'm
So that's going to
surprised.
be your Oscar movie.
What is?
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah,
that
that'll
movie.
be that'll be an Oscar nom for
Well,
sure.
we Live in Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also, part of me before we talked about it, I thought Here would have done something too, but it's just, I just don't
No.
know. I've been thinking about that movie a lot too, but there's your box office. I don't think anything crazy there, except
Nope.
it's just not very busy right now. It needs to be busier.
I mean, we're coming up on that, right? Like here in the next.
I mean,
like,
it
couple
starts
weeks.
Friday.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have a lot of stuff: Gladiator, Wicked, Moana, just to name a
But
few.
just remember, when it comes to Gladiator's money, this is going to be it's an R-rated movie, and that's
Mhm.
not a comedy.
Yeah,
It's going
Correct.
to be fighting that battle uphill.
Correct.
If it
Speaking
breaks
of-
70 million, I would be surprised.
Speaking of big budget, Chris, you have the recommendation for the week, so I'll give it to you to take away.
Yes. So this week, I decided to take on the streaming recommendation, and what I have suggested is going to be Captain America: Winter Soldier. And I was thinking about this film from a couple different angles, and the highlights for this is, in my opinion, this is the best standalone Marvel film that is within the Infinity War time saga, right?
Okay.
27 or so films. There are films outside of that saga that I like a little bit more. Logan's one of them. I've talked about it a good bit.
Sure.
But like Captain America: Winter Soldier within the MCU phases 1 through 4, standalone film, this thing's the best. It doesn't get better than this movie.
It's no Thor: Dark World.
It's definitely not. I agree with that 100%. It is action-packed. It is a spy thriller. It has elements of espionage in it all over the place. It is an all-around good movie that just happens to have some superheroes in it and stuff.
Sure.
it's just fun all the way through. I love this movie. Just watched it. Had my 6-year-old and my 9-year-old, well, soon to be 9-year-old, watching it as well.
Had they ever watched it before?
They have not. We
Okay.
haven't really like done the whole Marvel movies with them yet, just because like age is a little bit off for like some of the stuff for
Yeah,
the
it
youngest
gets
one,
little.
and the oldest one is like she just watched the Harry Potter movie, so she's
Nice.
just getting this stuff. But we were playing a board game while we had that on, right? And there were multiple times where we caught ourselves all just watching the TV for like 5-10 minutes, and we had to go, hey, it's someone else's turn. So it definitely pulls people in. The action in the movie is fantastic. It has actual stakes. It has good suspense. It has a good storyline all the way through. The characters involved are just great. Anthony Mackie is actually, it's his main introduction into that too, and he kills it in this movie. I forgot how good he did in that movie until I watched it.
This
again.
is the best version of him.
He provides really good comic relief without it being like the wacky version of the Marvel humor. It's just a dude in a really just out of this world situation all of a sudden that has a good sense of humor and some good dialogue thrown in. So like every performance is good. And all the way through this movie is just it's fun, it's fast, it's action packed from start to finish. It does not take long to get going, and it just goes the whole time. Fantastic movie. I challenge anybody to tell me that there's a standalone Marvel movie that's better than Winter Soldier. It's fantastic.
I would think there is. I would make the argument for one or two. I would make the argument for Iron Man. I think Iron Man might be one of the best.
I would hear your argument for Iron Man, and then I'd just tell you why you're wrong. But I'd hear it for sure. It's definitely up there.
I agree. I don't. The only movie that I would think is in the stratosphere of Cap 2 to me is the first Iron Man movie, just because of the tone that it set. And like, you gotta give Iron Man a ton of credit because like it was a gamble.
Yeah.
That one paid off dividends
immensely.
I mean, billions of times over at this point. But like
tens of billions.
With Cap 2, like that movie just clicks because like with the original Captain America, the first Avenger movie, like it's okay. But like it gives you like Captain America's background and like you don't get to see him do things in modern times, and like here's all that spy stuff.
Yep.
Here's modernized. Let's go. Got a good script.
Yeah.
Good chemistry on set. And it just goes, man.
And it's the first time you really get to see Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow like really in action for like more than just like a few cuts and snips. She's on there doing things, actually impacting the story. Samuel Jackson's character, it's the first time he's really got big stakes involved and actually has like things he's doing. Even Frank Grillo as like the main security goon, he has some good moments, and like just everyone that's on screen has meaningful time, and it feels like just a well cohesion all the way through. The villain is so good. It's not even the fact that the villain is Hydra; it's the fact that like the good guy is becoming is like the bad guy, right? Shield is being turned over from the inside, and now it's like, who do you trust? That's that espionage feel. It just does so many good things, and it does very well this time.
Hail Hydra, baby!
Is that the one where they're in the elevator and
yes,
Captain America's like, if you guys want off, get off now.
Yeah, anybody that wants to get off this thing,
still
now's
thinks
the time.
somebody should have been like, this is my floor. I have to get off.
Somebody should have walked
guy
off
with a briefcase. Like, I'm not supposed to be here.
Here's the thing that I think with that is like, I think it's the argument of T1 and T2, Terminator 1, Terminator 2. I can see why people think it's the better movie. However, the first one, I think
it's a different feel.
Yeah.
Well, but where I think a lot of people might not think about, and Chris, you may not have considered this, and I'm not saying I'm right that you didn't consider it, but like, I think the first Iron Man scope being more narrow gives it a stronger story, because like by the time Cap 2 comes around, it's just there's so many different
the world's bigger by that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think by definition can't be as focused and narrow, and I think part of what makes some films great is they're so narrowly focused.
I don't know, man.
The story is so strong.
If you haven't watched Cap 2 in a while, buddy, I implore you to rewatch it.
I rewatched it when you said it. I was up very late last night watching it, but
okay, cool.
It was I really kind of I understand you. I still think the Iron Man's better, but like
I got you.
I mean, Cap 2 is on everyone's like, if someone's like, oh, the top MCU movies, Cap 2's on every single one of those lists.
Yes.
Oh
Everyone's
it's
list.
got to be. I think I think along with Iron Man, because I would argue there are arguments for Iron Man being like top 3. I'd also put Black Panther on there, the first one.
The first one.
That's
Well,
like that one's very high on there too.
Let me just put you guys on the spot. What are your top 5 then? Just off the top of your head. Top 5.
Standalone or in all of Marvel, because like, that changes things.
Sorry, MCU.
Just do MCU.
MCU. Okay, so I mean top 5 MCU. Definitely, I think.
So Cap 2 for Chris, number 1.
If we're not talking about Avengers movies, it's Cap.
Why not?
We are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. So that changes it.
Whoa.
It's Infinity War, and then Cap 2,
Okay.
and then Endgame, and then it's going to be Black Panther, then Iron Man. I think that's
strong
my
5.
That's my 5.
It's a strong 5.
That's my 5.
Oh,
The fact that they pulled off bringing it all together for Endgame it's an actual movie, even though it wasn't the best. Like they definitely had misses in that film, dude. That thing is to bring it all together like that and actually have like a plan to do so and execute it.
Yeah,
it's impressive in its own right. It's a masterpiece, and for that reason,
I would agree with that.
Top 5.
What's your 5?
Mine would be Iron Man, Thor, Cap 2, Captain America, and Endgame. Like it's just, see what I mean? Like, yeah, I think the original Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America are the strongest narratives in that universe because like they haven't expanded yet and like gotten nuts with all the characters and all the arcs. And
that's a crazy list, but I respect it. The fact that you have all 3 origins on there makes it consistent at least.
And then I bring it home with Endgame, which of course they're all back together. And
sure,
Endgame, but I think Endgame was damn impressive.
Yeah.
It's an impressive feat. What about you?
So mine is it's Endgame, or excuse me, it's Infinity War and then Endgame back to back.
Okay.
Then it'd be Cap 2 and then Iron Man and then Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
I think Thor Ragnarok is an impressive feat because like Thor was in a bad way. After Dark everything had happened. Yeah. Dark World was a disaster. And then it swung back to not so great with Love and Thunder. So I did find out something. I meant to message you guys about this and didn't. I found out recently that Taika Waititi is listed as the director for Love and Thunder.
Yeah,
of course.
I heard he got fired 3/4 of the way through that.
Oh,
which is why the end is so not great of that movie.
All right.
Now here's the thing: I can't confirm that or whatever, but then like I started thinking about it, and I'm just like that makes a lot of sense. So why things are just so a jumbled fucking mess at the end of that movie.
That was right when Taika Waititi got involved in all the politics that was happening at the time.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what did. I mean, I don't know why, but he was very. I mean, they got rid of him.
I heard he wasn't involved in any of the second scene stuff at all, or any of that. So, yeah,
that makes sense.
I did watch.
I mean, it doesn't excuse that movie's an abomination.
No, we wouldn't, because you can tell the missed comedy is Taika Waititi is him. Like
sure,
that's
at least
writing.
some of it. Yeah,
absolutely. I just also watched Next Goal Wins. I love that movie. I think that movie.
I heard it's a decent flick.
Fassbender is so when he's insulting the team, it is some of the funniest things you'll hear. And like they're throwaway lines because the camera is moving away, but what he says is like it's so funny. I just belly laugh. He's making fun of this awful team, but I really do like that movie. Next Goal Wins. It's a weird one, but I really enjoy it. And that's
interesting list though. That's a cool top 5.
That's the thing is like 3 or 4 of those movies are pretty interchangeable on most people's lists. Mine is just different because like Thor is like not usually on a list, but like I still it's like it's early enough that it's still strong, and like Hemsworth is one of those like perfect casting choices for Thor.
He is, and unfortunately, I feel like the Thor movies are the ones that are the biggest misses in the MCU. Like,
that's fair.
Unfortunately, while Ragnarok is extremely entertaining,
well, Ragnarok's the exception because Ragnarok's a different type of movie. I
think the story that they did for Thor just didn't do the character the right amount of justice.
No, it's lame.
Especially for its setup in the first movie, because I think the first movie was a good setup for Thor, and they just kind of let all that go away, and like it's almost like they didn't know what to do with Hemsworth as Thor. They were just like, well, he's kind of dumb, he's super hot, and he has a hammer, so let's just make sure he's in everything.
Look at his arms.
Yeah,
incredible.
But like I don't know, it's sad. We could talk for an entire 2 shows about Marvel stuff though.
You want to?
We can plan for that actually.
So let's move a little bit into because Red One, of course, is the focus of the episode. We'll get to Red One very shortly. However, let's talk about some other. And not even like specific, just like and I know you guys are like now starting to understand. Like I've always been so fucking disappointed with these like big like $200+ million budget films that
Well,
just like come out and it's like, what? That was what we got for over
It's
$200
funny
million.
we come off talking about Marvel movies and
Yeah.
superhero movies in general. We're talking about big budget flops because,
Mhm.
like, look, because of superhero movies, people know the budgets for things now.
Yeah,
Like, people didn't used to
exactly.
ask that question very much at all.
Really?
Yeah, not
Hmm.
like they do.
I only like started doing this stuff with you guys once the superhero movies
Sure,
train was kind of already
it was
moving, right?
part
So
of the
yeah,
lexicon.
yeah.
But so, like, Red One, for people out there that doesn't know, the listed budget is 250. So it's probably slightly higher than that. And doesn't that budget generally doesn't factor in any advertising. And the rule of thumb is advertising is at least one half of the budget or of the overall budget. So let's do rough estimate.
Hmm.
375 is the break even point for this movie. That's a shitload for a
Jeez.
movie about Santa Claus.
Well, like, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm not saying it can't work. I'm saying after I've seen the movie, I would have definitely done things differently. 100%
Sure.
done
Oh
it.
yeah,
But I mean,
yeah.
so we're not talking about that movie quite yet. But like there is a laundry list of movies that have just astronomical budgets, and for some of them you don't even know why or what they're for.
Well, I
Like,
can give you a
obviously,
little bit of insight.
Red One's budget is very CGI heavy, so I get that. So
Um,
at least that's one big one. So what do you got, Grayson?
I was like, I can give you a little bit of insight. Some stuff it just happens. For instance, I was on Bad Boys 4, Ride or Die, and we just so right in between that, something happened, and we had to. This is before the end of like where the SAG strike happened, and they had to be really clever about how they shot, so they didn't break any union rules and stuff. But like in the middle of that, in early 2023, they took like a 3 week hiatus, but they didn't want when that happens, people tend to look, well, I'll just go work on something else. So they had to pay the crew for 3 weeks, well, not shooting, but like that adds something like that where you have to take a hiatus to like, okay, well, that's part of the story won't work. So we have to take a 3 week hiatus to like figure out where the story goes now. And
Jeez.
that's expensive. And like, that's like, you have to do it because you cannot lose your crew
Yeah,
or
yeah.
you're just dead in the water. So like that stuff does happen, and it's like it's some of the stuff I'm okay talking about that not going to get me in trouble, but like that stuff does happen more often than you
Hmm.
think. Like reshoots, because it's more expensive to come back for a reshoot, even if it's only for like 3 or 4 days, than it is just to go on a hiatus because you've already got everything in motion. You know, you've already got the rentals. Like you don't have to come, like you don't have to fly fuel back, rent an
Hmm.
office, re-rent all the packages. Like there's a cost ratio where like that is a thing where they do like the accountant will have to run like, okay, well here's this case scenario. If we shut down for 3 weeks, this is what's going to cost you extra. Like it's just what happens sometimes.
Okay.
Like,
So then,
yeah.
so on that note, then what's a big box office disaster that you can think of, Grayson, as an example?
Well, here's the thing: is like you may not consider it, but like the second Jurassic Park, whatever one was the second Jurassic World,
Okay.
I think is just one of those movies that I heard that the budget was like 180, and I watched the movie. I'm like, this movie sucks. Like I don't. The thing is, like, I don't really. You guys and I sometimes look at things very differently. I know like people
Mhm.
look at things and they judge success based on box office, and that's fine, whatever metric you
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to use. But like when I walk away from a movie where you have, for instance, like Red One or like Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Dominion, like you have a very talented cast, you have a ton of money, and you can't tell a more cohesive story that makes sense. It's just that
Nope.
bothers me on some gut level. You know what I mean? Like it just bothers the shit out of me sometimes of why they can't come up with something better. And I
So
mean, better being like one of those very vague terms, but you know what I mean.
sure. No, better overall film. Like it's not wrong to expect a higher quality of movie from something that costs an astronomical amount. I'm looking at the list of the
Mhm.
biggest budgets of movies, and like there's some ones on here. One that the budgets are astronomical, obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
and then are really bad movies. I just showed it to Chris. Chris, any surprises on that list?
Not a lot of well, so like budget wise, no, because you watch these movies and you know where the budget went, right? Like you know
Sure.
these are big set piece movies and things like that. But like on that note, I think one I can think of that I remember watching and knowing it was like a really expensive movie and it just was not good. Battleship? Does anybody remember
Oh, yeah,
Battleship?
yeah,
The
of course.
shitty Transformers knockoff alien
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. Like that movie was expensive and was not good, and didn't make its money back. I don't think that
Well,
movie's
so
tough.
so I just typed in biggest box office bombs and a list of 25. Are you guys looking at the Screen Rant list?
No,
No,
I'm
no,
looking
no.
at the
Difference,
wiki.
like-
I'm looking at the actual Wikipedia.
So the top 5 on from Screen Rants are John
Mhm.
Carter. You remember that one, John Carter?
Yeah, it
Marvel?
was a disaster.
yeah.
yeah.
The Lone Ranger,
Mhm.
Awful.
the Marvels,
I was gonna say Marvel's
Awful.
has to be on that list,
And-
right? Yeah.
and Chris, this is gonna hurt you too. The 13th Warrior,
Such
because
a
they
good
spent
movie.
Yeah, but
so
it's-
much money on that, and it just didn't get. The,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's a great movie. It just didn't get the return.
It is a good movie, but it's one of those ones that like it's good but didn't make money, so no one ever talks about it.
And then Mortal Engines, if you guys remember that from 20.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
a weird one.
That's
Ugh,
it.
man.
So the one I'm
Pretty
looking
good
at, the one that really sticks out for me is one Fast X, obviously.
Oh
And
God,
mind you, I didn't say Fast 10, so I didn't make any terrible jokes. You guys,
appreciate you. Don't
yeah.
do it. You're almost out.
I'm almost out.
You're almost
I'm just so close to coming back. So fucking close.
You got that bump.
Um,
Don't do it.
But the one that really sticks out to me because it came out a little bit later than most of the more recent ones is Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, which has
Oh,
a
yeah.
listed budget of $375.
Holy crap!
Holy shit!
Oh, that's expensive,
a-
man.
They built an actual portal and took the ships down in there. That's why it cost so much money.
They shot at the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, like they drained the ocean.
I just don't Yeah, it's just one.
Yeah.
Well, water's tough. Like Waterworld is, of course, one of those like very.
So
very,
that
very
was the
famous,
first
you know.
first movie that ever had a listed budget over $200 million. Was
Really?
Waterworld? Yes.
Oh, all right.
And here's the thing, though, that was in like 1996.
Yeah, as I was saying, that movie's not great.
So
Well, same was like 13th Warrior. I think this
Yeah.
list. I'm thinking it's adjusted dollars, but for example, I
Still.
mean, one movie that like I'm happy to see on this list because fuck this movie, Wonder Woman 1984.
sure,
Yeah,
the movie
get it.
sucked.
It lost $155 million. So that means
Tough.
it didn't even like we just talked about the break even point. Like it was that much short of the break even point.
Yeah.
So
Holy shit! Do you know
more.
Tangled cost $260 million?
Yeah,
The
I'm sure-
animated movie?
The Rapunzel Disney movie. Yeah.
I love that movie, by the way.
Sure. I mean, like, look. So, like, that movie's actually good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, like, this isn't. That's the wrong list. But it's just like I am shocked by how much
That it
money
costs
that
that much?
costs.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what I mean here.
Huh.
It's just
There's
stuff
a lot
that-
of Fast and Furious movies on here.
Weird.
Well, they don't make the return that they used to make. So that's
Yeah.
why I think we're only seeing one more instead of two more. Right? Is that how it's going?
I have no idea.
I mean,
there's
the
some
last
other
one we
movies.
saw is a two-parter, so that's all I've known. I didn't know they were planning on.
I
one
forgot
after
that Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania also cost $330.
Yeah.
And that movie stinks.
That movie is.
And here's the thing: all that movie did was get wiped away because Jonathan Majors is a dipshit.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and Red One we're gonna talk about today blatantly stole the Hank Pym tech to use in their story.
Listen,
you
I have
know-
so many things
God.
when we start talking about this movie.
I'm
like,
so glad that I wasn't the one that brought that up.
Nope,
Because
I had it on my list of things to bring up, and I have other things to bring up that I
course.
think are going to shock you guys.
They
Yeah.
stole some other things too. But one more thing I want to on this list on Screen Rant is like Strange World. Remember we talked about that at the end of 2020.
oh yeah, the movie, yeah,
Strange World.
that was the Jake
Uh,
Gyllenhaal.
Oh, yeah, the animated one,
Yeah,
right?
the
Yep.
animated one.
Yeah, it was okay, kind of weird. Yeah,
Well,
it got
leaned-
some weird
yeah.
buzz.
Well, it got
Yeah.
weird buzz because it had a gay character, and then when you watched the movie, nobody even cared.
Yep.
It was just the movie
They did,
sucked.
yeah, they did that exactly right though.
Yeah,
with
they
that
did. It was
character.
like
Yeah.
look, the fucking transition was smooth. It was clean. No one
Yep.
cared to make a big deal of it, and then the movie stunk.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, this movie's so bad because of this.
Yep.
It's just like here's the box office bombs are. I mean, studios have to. It's like no one releases a movie. Just like none of the game companies that are very popular with like the consoles and the PCs and the PC games. Like no one launches a game into a an environment in which they think. And they think the game's going to perform exactly opposite of their perform. Like
We
they
talking about
know what they're
Concord?
gonna get. Well, sure, one of many examples, but
So
like
you guys know what that is, right?
Oh, yeah,
So
I know.
this is
Yep.
for anybody out there that just heard that name of a game, and doesn't know what I'm talking about. Concord was a game that was in development for like 4.5 or 5 years
Mhm.
that cost $300+ million. Came out to little fanfare, nobody cared about it, and then they completely shut the game down 17 days after launch.
Yep.
They refunded your money if you bought it digitally. You got to return it to places if you if
know why they did that?
if
You know
you
why they
bought a
did that?
physical copy, because insurance write off.
Well, that means that if as long as they refund everyone or they offer to, then they can go back to treating it as if it was never released and it's 100% write-offable on taxes.
Yeah, so it's always tax write off. But yeah, it's just like that just put
Yep.
things in perspective because like games are very expensive.
Yeah,
And,
there's
like,
another one that me and Grayson followed called Duskborn that had a similar
right.
situation. It's like its highest concurrent player account is like ever recorded is like 1,000, and it was
Like
like
that,
this
that's
big
but again,
deal.
it's
what
that's
game was that?
Duskborn, look it up when you have some time.
Dusk.
Okay.
You'll be
But, like,
you'll be interested.
listen.
Okay.
Okay, look up Dustborn and then look up the Dustborn song, and I mean it's all part of it. But but like nothing comes out, and they're like a studio isn't. Oh, we're shocked that this movie didn't make this much. Like they know what it's gonna do, right? I've always thought they know exactly what it's gonna do.
I think after it gets edited and cut together, and they go to like see the product, I think then they know.
Sure.
I honestly think that, and I think this happens with a lot of comedies. Again, I think we've talked about this before in the past, where it's like, I don't think when you're filming, you think it's going to be bad. I think when you're filming and you're in the moment, it all sounds good. It sounds funny. It sounds great. It looks awesome. It's going to be cool.
Yeah.
And then when the movie gets cut together, it's like, oh God.
I
But,
can't
like,
believe this is what we made.
Yeah, but in the end, like, this is the film. This was the vision. It came together. It just didn't work.
Well, I'm still convinced, and since this is an early show for us, but like being in this sphere for a while, that only certain theater or certain chains care about the quality of product they put out there, because it's very rare that you hear that during a test screening they actually went back and changed something.
Yeah.
A lot of times you're like, hey, the test screens didn't go well, and then they still release it as it is, and you're just like, why would we go about that?
Sonic was the first.
Well, that's something I was going to reference, because like, look, you can have a product that isn't up to snuff, and you can bully a studio because bullying works. So,
Jesus, moral of the story, kids.
Moral story.
Right. Like they take enough feedback, like actual criticism, like that is constructive. And like, if you do it the right way, they will listen to you.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is like Sonic the Hedgehog, the original trailer came out, and everybody's like, whoa,
dear God, what is that?
What is going on here? And
what is that abomination?
They delayed it by 6 months.
Yep.
Redid all the CGI part. Like, I mean, it was a very specific thing that they did.
Yeah.
Just like, and they went back and they fixed it, and it looks good, and the movie's good,
and it's one of the most successful video game movies of all time.
And like, I am very much excited for Sonic 3.
Oh, we all are.
So mostly, so it kicks Mufasa's ass.
Yeah. So the I think I have one more movie to bring up.
Sure.
That is recent, and also is the like another thing to point to, like a very bad cap note on a franchise would be the Flash movie.
Yeah, you're right.
That thing was expensive, didn't make its money back, and expensive again because of all of the CGI put into it, all for it to go nowhere. And it's like
to basically be dead.
Yeah, and you could say some of that was because of was it Ezra Miller?
Ezra Miller,
like Ezra Miller's like his talks.
He's a crazy
about
asshole.
In the media, leading up to that movie, or the fact that James Gunn was coming in to take over the DC universe and all that. So there's a lot of things that like you can point to that may have like started to torpedo it.
Yeah,
but in the end, it still wasn't a well marketed, well made movie, and it's a big bomb because of it.
Well, I actually like the Flash. I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
Yeah,
but here's the thing, though. It's overall, though, it's not. It's a very forgettable.
Yeah.
But I think what you said, Chris, you said a very good point. And I think remember hearing that like, yeah, that makes sense. Is like because that movie came out right after James Gunn said no.
Yep.
Nothing that happens in this movie matters. So like,
and unless I say we're keeping it, we're not keeping it.
So that's the thing is like I understand why people are like, why do I want to waste my time and money to watch it when I know it'll be on streaming? I can catch it then if it doesn't matter to what's going to go on in the DCU. Which that was in like the time of like they still weren't quite sure what they were doing, but
DC is very much in the bubble of things where you could just make big budget flops. So like that was a thing that they did for a while, like consecutively every time they put out a movie. So
speaking of big budget flops, let's get to one.
Well, hold on. I got one more thing I want to bring up since we are talking about movies that just sort of disappeared. There is always the talk, and some we haven't addressed on this show is like the Batgirl movie that was done, made, and they're just like
that probably
going away.
That probably would have been on there for like top 10 contenders,
sure,
biggest flops.
But it's like they didn't even let it out.
No.
Like
There was-
they own a streaming service, and we're like,
There was
Nah.
something fundamentally wrong with that movie
Yeah.
when they got it to like out of the cutting room floor and said we can't put this out.
Yeah.
Like something happened there. So
somebody's got it somewhere.
someone has their
I
hands
can't
on it,
wait.
and I would love to get my hands on it. So, but until that day happens, we'll never.
Come on, somebody put that bad boy on GitHub. Let's
Oh,
go.
It's gonna.
Let's
one
go.
Day, man.
Well, it may find its way onto a leaked thing or something, but
That's what I want. Like tomorrow, I'll give a
just
full recap. I'll stream it on Discord.
Jesus.
stream it on
Yeah.
stream it on your OnlyFans. There you go.
Yeah,
You know, that's a weird.
Sure.
All right. Thanks, Grayson. Thank you. Welcome for that. All right, gentlemen.
I know who my subscriber is.
You're one subscriber. Let's talk about what is, in my opinion, a kind of a big budget disappointment.
Kind of.
Bury the lead, baby.
Well, but before we do that, let's do our pass or
Yeah.
fail.
Okay, so again, I'll count us down. It'll just go Grayson, Roger, Chris, real quick. You just give it a pass or fail, thumbs up, thumbs down. So ready, 3, 2, 1. Grayson. I kind of give it a thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough. As
So
long
like
as you can defend it.
I'm actually kind of like not all the way down.
Almost,
I'm
yeah,
like
yeah.
3/4 down,
Yeah. No, I'm
or like 2/3 mark.
this thing gets a thumbs up from me, and since I'm the thumbs up, I'll lead in.
Sure.
This movie's rough. This movie has a lot of identity like
Theft.
crisis issues going on.
Identity theft.
issues going on
Theft.
too. There are obvious
Theft or fraud? Which word is better? For?
There are obvious pain points to this film. However, for just being some another Christmas movie to put into the queue and turn it on, so it's just in the background. This movie works. It's fun enough. It's cool enough. It has enough things going on that are interesting enough. I could recommend this to people that want to watch, like,
Okay.
an out of this world superhero-esque feeling Christmas movie. You know what I mean? Like it's not the worst thing I've seen. It's not.
Sure.
I was entertained in parts. I was
Okay.
entertained mildly.
Glad I brought. So let's do a quick couple of particulars.
Yeah.
Of course, it's Dwayne Johnson, Chris Evans, J.K. Simmons, Lucy Liu, Bonnie Hunt, Kiernan Shipka, to name a few.
Then
Written by
nobody's.
Chris Morgan and directed by Jake Kasdan. Both have been very busy lately. But so let's talk about it. Why am I angry about this? You may be wondering. It's because you have, I think, Chris Evans, before this movie, I would have said is one of the best younger male leads in Hollywood. And it seems like in this one, he agreed to the whatever $10 million paycheck and was like, okay, fine. As long as it's $10 million, I'll do this. Give me the 10. And that was it.
Yeah.
It's like 25.
So hold on. Okay, so right out the gate, I don't think Chris Evans is one of the best male leads we have right now. I haven't seen him do anything well outside of his stick in Marvel. He's played like the same character outside of the Marvel stuff to this point.
I don't know who you're putting up.
I
against
think
Chris Evans,
I think the only thing that I remember him being in, and he still kind of played the same dude, was that series we watched on Apple TV.
Oh,
with him
Defending
in it.
Jacob or whatever.
Yes.
He was the dad.
He
and
was
you
still
never really
kind of
knew
this.
if the son did it. Yeah.
What about the weird movie Ghosted that was also on Apple
No.
TV?
Awful.
But here's the thing: he played. No, hold on.
Yeah,
okay,
no,
I'm sorry.
I-
I'm not here to defend that movie.
I see
as
where
good.
he's going. Yeah.
He plays a different kind of character there,
Sure.
Okay. Oh, okay.
but he also ends up as like a superhero.
Weird.
So
Well-
yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of my point. I haven't seen him do anything beside like that is really different, and I think I would love to see Chris Evans in like an actual like
back to
hard,
drama.
dramatic role.
Sure.
Because like I need to see him do that at this point.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But yeah, like so I agree with you that he's a good actor, but like I don't know how good he is at this point anymore.
I mean, here's the thing: he's still A-list though.
He is,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, so you have The Rock and Chris Evans
Okay,
as
yeah.
A-list as you get.
I could say the same thing about The Rock too. You know, like,
Sure.
he does the same thing. in
No,
every
he's
movie
listen.
at
He
this
hasn't
point.
played a different character since he left WWE.
I think
So-
I think it's even while he was in the WWE, he thinks the same
Well-
character a lot of times.
Well, so let me ask you. So
Yes.
just for like, I know we always like to talk about the
Yeah.
divides on Rotten Tomatoes. Is
Okay, yeah.
so
There's
this
no
has a-
divide.
there's has a 33% on tomato
Yes.
meter and a 90 on the popcorn meter, which is the audience.
Fuck that meter.
Yeah, well, it's just, look, I can understand someone watching it and really enjoying their time with it. That's different than looking at a film critically and saying, yeah, that was pretty good. Like there's just very different things.
So like for
the people
anybody,
like this film.
well, here's
All right.
here's the thing. What's the Metacritic?
34.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, hold on. I'm glad you brought that up though, because like the 90% popcorn meter is probably people like me, who said this movie's good enough.
Sure, and I completely understand.
Sure.
In
So,
all
okay.
honesty,
So like, look, so for one thing, because I don't think we've ever talked about it here on the show, like what the Rotten Tomatoes meter thing actually means. So with the Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score is the amount of critics that give it a positive review. They don't give it a cumulative score out of 100. So when you see like it's got like a 35 or whatever it has, it's not that it has like 65 points off.
that's not the
for being bad.
average scoring of the film.
That's the amount of people that gave it a critical score, that gave it a positive review.
Yeah.
So very little. But the popcorn meter it's just you walked out of the movie, do you like it? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
1 for yes, 2 for no. And that's it. So I mean, like, look, if you walked out of this movie and said you liked it, I wouldn't like I understand when Chris says he liked this movie. I get why.
It was all right.
But this movie overall, though, is not very good.
Oh, listen, it's not a well-made movie. It's not a great like addition to cinema.
This is where I think verbiage and terminology comes into play. I mean, there are so many awful movies. For example, I like Cellular. You remember that like early Chris Evans 2004 movie?
Yeah, where he's driving in the car
Where
and
he
talking
can't
to the lady that's kidnapped. Yeah.
He can't hang up the call because Kim Basinger's on their line. She's been kidnapped, and like as soon as he drops the call, she dies. So that's the thing. Is like I like that movie, but I understand it's not very good. See, that's the difference I'm talking about. Is like I think it's important in a movie like this to understand. So, Chris, I think you had a fun time watching this movie. I don't think you think it was good, but maybe I'm wrong.
No.
Is that accurate?
I think the movie is good enough as like
Okay.
turn this on and watch it. It does what it wants to do. It gets you to where it wants to get you.
Well,
but like in terms of like movie making prowess, no, this is not it.
2 questions before when we go into it. Who is the target demographic for this movie?
I don't know.
Another good bring up. I'm on with Roger. It's hard to tell because like there's point in this film where I'm like, oh, that's like kids could see that. I get that's funny for a kid. And there's other times where they say shit.
So me and Chris have kids. Chris has 2. I have 1. My daughter's a little bit older. Chris has a couple of younger daughters. Like my kid's like right at the age where she could watch this because she's 13.
Language wise.
But like Chris, your kids are a little bit younger than that. Yeah. So like it's kind of like definitely for your youngest.
Yeah, my youngest, no.
It's it's definitely not. But like is this marketed as like because it is a Christmas movie. It's not like a family Christmas movie.
Yeah,
it's weirdly marketed as like this weird Christmas action flick.
Yeah, but there's not enough action in this movie to make like the guys that want to go see an action film be excited about this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
agree.
And it's not.
Yeah, the action is some dude fighting a snowman on a beach in Aruba.
Yeah, and where the big scary muscular hulking like snowmen, when they get somebody, they just go, ooh, and they poke them, and then they turn to ice. They don't even like cut them to pieces.
You know what that is? That's the staff from Avengers.
Yes. So here's the thing: is you mean like the staff that Loki's?
Yeah,
Loki's staff.
I don't see. Here's what I don't. There is so much like IP theft in this.
Okay. Can I start listing things?
Goodness, yes.
Can I start listing things?
Yeah, go ahead.
So they're in Wakanda. First
no, 100%.
They're in Wakanda.
They're in Nordic Wakanda. Nordic Wakanda.
They're in Wakanda.
Yep.
It has the dome and even the
superior technology.
And some of the same circular shots look straight from the movie.
Oh God, yeah.
Like it's insane. Like I thought like as I'm watching, I'm like, this is just Wakanda, right? Because that's the middle tower, 100%. Right?
Yep.
Same thing.
That's the palace, yes.
I'm almost positive, that they stole or borrowed or paid for frame-by-frame work CGI stuff for the Hulk, for the giant bear. There's a scene where the bear's fighting, where he takes 2 of the
and he smashes them together,
throws them, and then he roars.
Yeah,
it's the same exact scene.
So I know the scene. I didn't catch it on the fly, but yes, I do.
You can see the Hulk in your head right now. It's the same thing.
Garcia, the polar bear.
Yeah, Garcia, the Hulk bear.
Yeah.
So like you have those 2 seeds. You guys just mentioned the staff. They have the thing where they use the gun to turn people off, which is the same thing the staff does in the Avengers.
Well, and then let's talk about the PIM particles
that
he has access to. And he can shift his matter around.
He can shrink. He can grow. When he shrinks, he seems to be stronger.
Still has the distortional
Yep.
whatever that was called.
He can turn small inanimate objects into big inanimate
Yep.
objects.
Straight out of this Pym Tech, baby.
There's so much here that just seems straight. I don't know if someone that works for Marvel went to Amazon. I don't know if Amazon said, "Hey, listen, Disney."
Well, but we couldn't figure out why it cost $250 million. Maybe that's why.
I think they had to buy a lot of that. I think there's a legitimate route where they paid for and bought some CGI frameworks and stuff like that. Say, listen, we need to use this. How much will you sell it for?
Well, let me ask you another question. So an extremely successful movie this year. We were all very high on it. Wolverine and Deadpool. Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah,
was another movie where they relied on. It was a massive budget. They relied on comedy and clever, like witty, banter back and forth. But that movie had the benefit of having a super, super close, like emotional crux. Even though it was like,
and it was fucking awesome.
Well, even though, but I mean, look, Hugh Jackman is Hugh Jackman, and like
sure,
and that movie completely revolved around
shredded at 55.
That movie revolved around Hugh Jackman. Like that was his movie. I mean, you guys can argue with me all you want, but
no, I wouldn't argue that.
That was his.
Did you see him without a shirt on?
It was his story. It was his movie. Everything about it was his. So that's the thing is, at least you got the payoff in that movie with like you got the emotional center and the emotional ending, but like you didn't get any of that, even in the parts that were supposed to be emotional of Jack reconnecting with his son. What did son's name?
Dylan.
It wasn't. There was from. I'm always the guy that looks for that, and like I was like, that's it. That's what we got. Are you kidding me?
So look, today I learned the power of love can break you out of a containment cell.
True.
Yeah, I mean, it's and the U.S. military is helping Santa Claus get around the world.
No, the world's military.
Fine,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Fine, but it's
the global elites.
So we didn't even give the quick spiel what this is about. I'm gonna give the quick and dirty, just real fast. Santa Claus lives in Wakanda.
Yes,
and with their advanced technology and the fact that Santa Claus is a super being, he's able to do the present thing. He goes
alpha level mutant.
He's an omega level.
Omega level.
He gets abducted, goes missing, and our reluctant security guy has to go find him. And they enlist a hacker, which is Chris Evans. Like that's the whole movie all the way through. And
it's so weird to me that like the way they wanted to show you that he was a brilliant hacker and stole things was he stole someone's fucking coffee from a Starbucks. Like that was the way they chose to show you how smooth he is. And
I mean, like you understand how easy it is to steal stuff from Starbucks, right?
But like in a city with any size, if you ever go into Starbucks in the morning, there's like 15 orders at any time just sitting there. Like you just take them and no one would even.
I don't care. It's already been paid for.
Exactly. I worked at a Starbucks and we had to replace them all the time because people would just walk in and take them.
But yeah, so that's like the movie in a nutshell, right? So
sure.
I wanted to make sure we covered that because I want to talk about the best thing about this film,
which is
Santa Claus.
Sure, J.K. Simmons, who fucking rules in everything.
Yeah.
Also, Simmons. That old man is still jacked, boys.
Dude, Santa is a monster in this movie.
Yeah. So, like, look, though, all jokes aside, like, J.K. Simmons is awesome.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
He is an incredible actor. I love him in just about everything he does, like Whiplash, one of my favorite movies. My absolute favorite performance of him in Palm Springs, which is a movie that is beloved to me and should be to anybody who's never seen that movie. Watch Palm Springs. It's on Hulu. You'll love it. I promise you. Best R-rated Groundhog Day movie you'll ever see. But like, he's your best feature, and you have him for 20 minutes.
Yeah, but
because then you put him to sleep.
Yeah, but that's probably also kind of like his stipulation.
Well, yeah, because he would outdo everybody else in this movie.
Yeah, like he's not going to be the star, but like to have him, I think I can't think of a single other person that could have pulled off like the feel of this Santa Claus better than J.K. Simmons did. You know, like Mel Gibson's the only guy that comes to mind ever, and that's just because he's a burly old dude that's jacked. But
yeah,
like,
and he did Santa Claus in the movie Fat Man.
Exactly, but like,
which is a good movie, by the way.
Even in this, I think J.K. Simmons is the only guy, and I think he makes this work as well as it does. He's believable. He's a force to be reckoned with, both as an actor and as this character. So like you feel the gravitas of his presence every time he's on screen, even when he's sleeping. It's weird. So it's like, I think it's cool. I think that the Santa Claus element is the most interesting part of this movie, and we don't really ever explore it until the very end, which is the best part of the movie in my
Sure.
opinion. The ending of this movie, when we actually get to see Santa Claus going to work, is actually really cool.
Dude, when he's like doing the salt and pepper shakers, dropping the little
Yeah.
gifts and things, I like that.
Yeah, he's like-
also matter displacement,
Yep.
stolen Pimtech.
Yep. He's like, but he's like he's like special forces dropping in
Yeah.
on chimneys and like ducking out and tuck and roll and going to the next one. He's getting hydrated on the way to to continent to
in
continent.
between.
Like, it's cool as hell to see it. It's
Yeah.
actually an interesting part of the movie, and J.K. Simmons pulls it off really well.
Sure.
So
I mean,
like
listen,
that.
J.K. Simmons is great and everything.
Oh, yeah, true.
But I mean, like, look, this movie struggles to tell a cohesive story, which is weird for me to say cohesive story. Like, we're not talking about Santa Claus being kidnapped, okay? But it's like we end up going to multiple continents, teleporting through toy stores, which they briefly explain as some sort of like connected portal
I have a
world.
problem with that too.
Okay.
I want to say something. He leaves the door open every time he comes through it.
Every single time.
Isn't that a problem? What
Like
if someone
some
walked
kid
into the
is-
storage room?
Hold
Like,
on.
where's
Problem-
the bathroom?
Prob-
Funk?
Problem number one. Problem number two is with such an emphasis on naughty and nice, he never pays for anything. He steals everything he
Just
takes.
leaves. He just
Both-
loads his arms up at the toy store and just goes out the door.
Like both
True.
times. I mean, we don't see him pay. Maybe he paid, but like the first time
He
he didn't
didn't
pay,
pay.
so I would have
I
been.
think he's got
fine
like
with-
Apple Pay just walking by and just like bloop.
But like, and then when he puts the car down and he shoots it, like, does anybody see that, or does no one
Nope.
see that?
Well, so like one thing I understand, it's not like Men in Black. Like you can just do whatever you want because like they fight the snowman people like in a crowded resort
yeah.
area. Like there's nobody's coming around with like the thing to zap
Yeah.
them.
Not a single person was like, talking about that afterwards.
Well,
or
the one
something.
person was at least recording it on their phone, like, holy shit, that's a giant snowman fighting that guy. Because it's exactly what I'd be doing.
So that means they saw it. That means
so,
like, they were
yeah.
present
Yeah.
for that.
It's
so-
out there.
Yeah, it's
So-
weird.
This movie's
It's weird.
contradictory. That's the thing.
Well, the one thing that I did appreciate, because like, so they dip deep into the mythological realm, talking about like the headless horseman and all these other
Yeah.
things, because like apparently there is mythological society,
Myra or something.
Mora?
Yeah,
Mora.
Mora, M-O-R-A.
Yeah. And so it's like they handle the mythological things that are on Earth and like police them basically. Basically like the scary or like the special creatures FBI.
Yeah.
Like where Hellboy worked for, the paranormal
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of that. I did appreciate something that I've had a feeling on for a long time, and I don't think I've ever talked to you guys about this, that all magic is licensed. And if you use magic without your proper license, you get flagged.
Yeah.
And like, look,
Alright,
they
that's cool.
actually do that on this
Yeah,
movie.
they did. But they did it as like just a throwaway line to track to figure
Listen,
the next
I
thing
have
out.
10,000 words written on licensed magic. If you
So
want to
can I-
talk to me about it,
Chris, can I add something
Yeah.
else? Can I add something
Yeah,
else to your list of stolen? It's like that. Mora to me is just Shield. Someone.
no, it's the team from Hellboy.
Yeah, it's
Well,
the
fuck,
Hellboy
if-
thing.
Sure, but
More
it's-
than anything else.
it's stolen from something that's
Sure.
already been established. It's like
Yeah.
something that's protecting something
Oh, yeah.
else.
Yeah,
paranormal. It's like-
agreed.
It's just is there nothing original in this anymore?
No.
Like, does no one have original ideas anymore?
No, they don't even play original characters.
Yeah.
Oh, Santa Claus really isn't, that guy.
No,
but-
that's not what I mean.
not even that, it's
But
the
the
other
character
ones.
that Chris
Sure.
Evans plays is the most generic hacker
Yeah.
that you could ever be in your life. And The Rock, the bodyguard guy that's like looking for redemption because he wants to quit. Okay, like look, we've seen that 1,000 times. Like even at the end when like he sees them as like little kids talking to each other and like he, like his heart grew 3 sizes.
that
That
single
day.
tear.
God
yeah.
damn it! You stole that right from the Grinch.
Yeah,
Like, come on,
yeah.
dude, we just saw this happen.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like everything's stolen. So
Every
how is
bit
this
of
even,
it.
how is this 20 years ago that movie would have been flagged and there would have been lawsuits everywhere? What's changed?
$250 million.
Yeah.
paid for it.
Again, I'm thinking that they may have actually like paid for some of the
Maybe,
rights to some
sure.
of this imagery. 100%. But
Maybe.
we'll never know. We'll never know that. But
No.
I'm sure that went into it in some way, shape, or form.
But
It's just
also, I have a
there's just too much of it.
But why then do you? I mean, Bonnie Hunt is a woman with she's got some gravity.
Serious credentials.
Yeah. But why she said like 7 lines or something.
Paycheck.
But again, why waste the money to get Bonnie Hunt if the generation you're aiming at probably doesn't care that she's in this movie or even know
Well,
she is?
Okay, so my thing was because Bonnie Hunt's just recognizable enough to some younger folks to be like, yeah, she makes a great Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
she's age appropriate with J.K. Simmons.
Mhm.
Is recognizable enough, and if she wanted to be, could be the best actress in the whole fucking movie.
In that movie, yeah.
Yeah. like
No, I wanna
has the ability to take over a role and do whatever she wants. They're like, look, you want to bake cookies for your husband? That's cool, man. I like cookies.
Yeah, I mean, the journey we go on this movie is, like I said, it's fine. It's predictable. It doesn't do anything that we've never seen before.
No.
This movie is safe in every way you can think of. Like, it's just all the safe decisions are made all the way through. The bad guy is weird and forgettable. Like, it's I don't even understand what her actual problem is besides like what they tell us, and it's not that deep. And all that, it's like the cliche comes out like they were in the North Pole the whole time. Like, oh my god, it's just.
Well, her thing was she wanted to punish all the bad kids, right?
I know, but
Like,
Oh, yeah,
that's one of those like Thanos. Like, okay, I kind of agree with him on this.
Well, yes, but I mean, like, look, this also makes you understand is how deeply weird and sadistic that Middle European Santa Christmas stories are. Because, good God,
yeah,
okay, like, look, most people know at least what the Krampus is, right?
Yeah.
Then you realize like they doubled down, and there's even a worse one that's the Christmas witch that will just steal your fucking soul. Like, you will just be locked in eternal damnation if you're naughty instead of being nice for Christmas.
Isn't it funny that this master plan, like, they didn't find out that there's a design flaw with this snow globe, where if you just become nicer, you get to break out.
Son, I love you. I love you too, Dad. Pow! We're out of the box.
I'm no longer in prison.
Well, I mean, this is what I mean with like this. This is obviously not a studio film. And to me, like 100% is not. It is definitely a streamer, Amazon, Hulu. Like it screams no refinement completely. You know what I mean? It's like what I mean. It's to me, it's like you go into one of those like in the they have them in the South still like debutante balls. It's like, women dressed to the nines. All these young girls have all these dresses on, and then someone comes out in like yoga pants and an MTV shirt, and that's Red One.
Yes.
Like it just doesn't make it. There's no refinement here. It's all. Do all the streaming services assume that it doesn't matter what they put out because people will watch it anyway? Is that what's going on here?
Again, I think the goal was this to be turned on your TV at home.
Yeah.
Like, the goal wasn't for this to keep you interested in your theater seat. The goal, the original goal for this movie was not to get someone to come out, pay money and time to go and watch this film. It was meant to be, hey guys, let's turn on a Christmas movie because it's December. Boop, and this thing comes on your screen.
So let me ask you guys a question real quick because we're talking about that. So we are recording this in the middle of November, the opening weekend of this movie. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this is on Amazon Christmas Day?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, 1,000%.
It's on Amazon in 2 weeks.
You think 2 weeks?
I do. As soon as it dies. Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
I think a possibility why this movie was put out in theaters is so they can put the rent and buy tag on it instead of it just being on the platform.
Sure, of course, yeah.
I think that for a while they'll make this to where you have to pay to watch it.
Sure, and many families may do that because I heard about that.
Yeah.
Let's we're all sitting around. Let's watch it.
Well, yeah, I'm just thinking of stuff that happens on Christmas Day when you got a room full of people and be like, hey, what do you want to watch? And be like, hey, there's that movie on Amazon today.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. That's what I was thinking.
Well, yeah, but like I mean, even so, it's much easier to push that $3.99 button than that $24.99 button too. So like, why wouldn't they do that?
Rent for $4.99 or whatever it is, because that buy is still at like $25.
The fact that it was a theatrical movie, they can do that. It's not just like being launched on their platform.
Especially if somebody saw it and be like, yeah, the kids will like it.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, turn it on, man.
Good.
It's cool. Get the movie, I'll get some pizza, And
I mean, we can talk about that for a second about like what's streaming or whatever, because the one thing that I meant to talk about in the news, you asked if we watched anything, and I'll segue back into Amazon here in a second.
Yeah.
Is on Friday was the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah.
On Netflix, right? So like, and again, Netflix had a live event, and again, their service crashed.
Oh, it did. It was bad.
Like bad. Now, like, look, they generate tons of traffic. Good for them. But like on Christmas Day, Netflix has 2 NFL games. Like the NFL must be like, what the fuck are we doing? Because like that brings me back to Amazon for a second, who already streams the Thursday night game every week. and have never once had a single problem.
Yeah. Their infrastructure is
So
there so far.
it's like their service is way more built for that.
Mhm.
I just thought that was a funny like.
They've been
thing that
doing it
comes
longer though
back around.
too. In
Sure,
their defense.
but here's the thing: Netflix has been around far longer. They just have never dabbled into the last couple of years some live event
Yeah.
stuff, and it's just like, that's things that'll happen in the holidays.
Mhm.
It could be very memorable.
Yeah,
It's
true.
just this is all weird because like we're transitioning into territory that we'll be there in 10 years. It's just we're doing this weird transition period now where they're trying to figure out what makes money, what's the best way to make the most return for your buck. And
No, the streaming service are trying to be cable.
But I mean, it's not going to work.
It's all a cycle.
It's cyclical, baby.
Didn't we just get away from that like 5-10 years ago?
Nice.
No, it just came back.
Yeah, it's back, baby. Cable's back.
Apologize.
Mike Banning is back.
Sure, they do also make that do like the North Pole is fallen.
Yeah.
He does that into his little cuff thing,
So let's talk about characters then.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, let's.
Yeah,
Let's talk about characters of Callum Drift. Now, Roger, before we talk, how does that name rank with Cade Yeager, Callum Drift?
I mean, it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, they're all terrible. Yes, thank you. So let's talk about the fact that it's a cliche that he's looking for redemption. He's looking for redemption of mankind, looking for to not hate mankind as much and not be so disappointed. I don't mind that so much because it's not.
That's the realest part of the movie, buddy.
But well, that conversation in the beginning between him and Saint Nick, that's the best conversation in the film, which blows my mind because you're also dealing with Chris Evans as a father who's reconnecting with his son. Like they should have been like, okay, well, those are both, but no, one is clearly better than the other. I don't mind it so much when characters are cliches of thousands of other characters in film history, only because that's a very well-known character and that's the arc they're following. That's fine. Where I have a problem with is it wasn't Callum Drift. It was Dwayne Johnson. If they'd have called him Dwayne, it would have been fine by me.
Yeah.
Because he plays
his name is Hobbs.
Oh, is it really? Is it really Hobbs?
No.
Oh no.
No.
Okay, I was like, did I miss that? No, but
You did.
You missed the joke.
Thing is, it doesn't matter to me that it's cliche, but it's a boring character with a boring reason to exist.
The character's boring because you've seen this character played by The Rock tens of times at this point.
You know what I just realized? The one thing that he didn't do in this movie, and he had multiple fight scenes, he never rock bottomed anybody.
Well, no, he probably can't for legal reasons.
And his shirt never came off.
Yeah. No. I mean,
he never ran through fire.
Did you expect that?
I don't think I've seen his shirt pop off in a lot of movies.
In the Christmas movie for
It's not for kids.
I stopped myself.
It's not for kids.
I stopped myself.
I didn't expect the movie to be the way it was.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what I was expecting. Something I meant to mention at the top of this discussion is I didn't even know what to expect going into this, nor did I even. It's been a while since I've cared so little for a massive big budget release.
Yeah.
This one. It's been a long time for me.
Well, so after watching the trailer, I got exactly what I expected to get. Garbage. Sure. Because the trailer's bad. And look, the trailer plays all the hits, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Every single thing it does is in this trailer.
It does.
Basically in sequential order too.
Yeah. The best part of the movie and the trailer is when J.K. Simmons screams whatever he screams to get the reindeer activated. Yeah. That's cool as shit.
Yeah, also the reindeer are awesome.
Yeah, they are.
They look terribly CGI, but they're awesome.
They're 100% CGI, which is crazy, but they're also
yeah,
massive.
I mean it's hard to get a lot of flying reindeer to stay in a still shot.
So speaking of reindeer, I think they missed the opportunity for a perfect joke for this film. Would have been actually funny, and I don't know why they didn't do it. So when Chris Evans sees the reindeer for the first time, I don't know why they didn't have him go ask where Rudolph was, and
we don't talk about Rudolph.
Well, and for The Rock to look at him with the most serious face and go, Rudolph's not real. What's wrong with you? That's made up. And it's out of all the shit in this movie,
kind of funny.
Rudolph would be the made up thing. He'd be appalled by him.
Rudolph's just a story buddy.
Yeah. What do you mean? It's a red-nosed reindeer. It's not real.
I do love
walk away.
One thing I did think was clever. I did love the trolls the ones that are responsible for like finding these online
The
shenanigans.
internet trolls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which, like, yeah, of course. Like that's
yeah.
pretty dead
That was
on.
good.
Actually, that was the one clever
Yeah.
thing I thought in this movie.
I
the internet trolls.
snickered in the in
You,
the theater.
you know the
when it happened.
reindeer are just Pokemon, right? They're just Stantlers.
You're probably right.
I was saying I wasn't actually making a joke.
Tell
That's
me I'm
exactly
wrong.
what they remind me
Yeah.
of.
As soon as you said that, I was like staring into them on the table. I was like, "Son of a bitch, they're pretty close." Yeah,
Yeah.
jeez Louise. I mean, Stantler is just a take on reindeer, though. So I mean,
Yeah. Well, sure.
It's also cyclical. It's fine.
sure.
So we covered The Rock's character, Dwayne Johnson's character, a little bit. You know, he's very cliche. He's very by the numbers.
He's everything The Rock is in a movie now.
Yeah. He's, it is what it is. He can
But-
fight. He's got superpowers. It's fine.
Before you move past him, but like, have we been surprised by The Rock in a role in 100 years now?
No, but I think he has something coming up soon. Doesn't he have an A24 movie coming up now?
Maybe.
No fucking way.
I think he
Did
does.
I miss that?
I think he does, and I think I'm very interested to see him in an actual dramatic role for whatever it's going to be, because I think it's time at this point. He's been doing nothing but safe film since he hit the movie industry. He's been the same guy, doing the same stuff.
He's done. There's some stuff that he tried early that didn't work.
Not like actual like serious like.
Okay, you're right. So actually, I'm sorry. I did know about this, where he's playing the MMA fighter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it,
yes.
that's it.
I actually didn't realize that was an A24.
Okay.
Yes, I did know that.
Hold on. So right now in upcoming, he has 12 things. Holy
Okay.
I mean, like, look,
That's average for him.
like,
though.
look, man's getting paid.
Yeah.
Hold on. Among them, of course, untitled Fast and Furious film.
Yep.
Yes.
Jungle Cruise.
There should be like
2.
4 of them. Yes, good, more Jungle Cruise. That's just what I fucking wanted.
Another
God
San
damn it.
Andreas. Another San Andreas. Which is weird.
Okay,
Really?
like here's the thing. I actually like San Andreas because like I'm a big disaster movie
San
guy.
Andreas 2, Earthquake Harder.
But he's also,
Earthquaker.
so he's in. So
Earthquaker.
it points out untitled Fast and the Furious
Moonquake.
film and Fast X Part 2. So is there another Hobbs and Shaw film? coming
Yeah,
I wonder?
so they were
Yeah.
talking about
Okay.
that already. So like, look, Hobbs and Shaw are the better movies. So
That's
because they give us actually what we want. They give us Jason Statham because he's the best character they have.
Well, it's just. But let's. So I mean, what do we? Did he just? Is this like? Are we happy with his involvement in this, or is this just basically just a throwaway movie for him, like it was for Chris Evans?
This is his movie though. It's his production company.
It is. You're right. You're right. And
Yeah.
I drank many of his his
You
energy
drank some
drinks.
Zoas, did you?
So I mean, so first of all, his contract says you cannot have anything but Zoa. You have to have only Zoa. So I had hundreds of them for like weeks. That's all I drank out of the fridge. They're
Oh, you're
little-
talking about at work. I'm like, during the movie, brother, you can just go get a Coke. They'll just give you one if you
No,
pay
no.
for it.
Sorry, when I was working on Bad Boys,
Okay, thank
They
you.
were-
I was
they
like, what the fuck are you doing?
they were the other ones in the building in Atlanta, and like he has a thing where like they have to buy so many cases each week of Zoa in his contract for craft service. So
I've
they
never
just-
had Zoa. Is it any good?
It's much healthier.
I've never had it.
I love it, especially when it's free. It's great.
I
Oh,
can't-
sure.
I can't drink Zoa because it's too close to the word Hoa, and I can't.
Yeah,
Hooah!
Oh, fair enough.
Hooah!
His production company or not, it's just this movie does nothing for him, does it?
I mean, it made him
Astronomically.
money.
Oh, okay. Take away the money in the film, and does it do
No.
anything to forward his career?
Okay, I'm sorry. I forget. You always talk about how movies should matter. This movie doesn't do anything that matters.
Okay.
Like, even if you like this movie, it's fine. But like, it does. This movie is as generic as it gets. Like, legitimately, it just takes things from other movies anyway, which we've already discussed. Like, this is clearly a paycheck movie for at least 2 people. Because overall, like, even if you're a proponent of this movie, like Chris enjoyed it, and that's okay. Because
It was
like,
good,
I
yeah.
don't hate this movie. Like, there's nothing great here. It's okay to do movies for paychecks.
But even Lucy Liu, like what? Why
Paycheck.
was Lucy Liu in this?
Paycheck.
Maybe Lucy Liu really believed in the character and her involvement in the mythological creatures
She
association.
fucking loves Santa Claus, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, or maybe she just was like,
Hmm.
"Hey, that's a good offer from
Also,
Amazon. I'll take it."
something else she stole. She has lightsabers.
Oh yeah, she does.
I mean, okay, fair, whatever, fine. This is to me, it's like I don't do too many of these. I don't plan to ever give too many thumbs down, but it's just this to me. It just
He doesn't plan on watching many movies.
now this is a big one for you,
That's fine.
Roger. This movie wasted my time,
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
and I don't think it was overly long.
That's like it's
It wasn't. It
just
wasn't.
a tad under 2 hours,
Yeah,
right?
it was at 2
Sure,
hours.
and it just again, it's one of those movies that it doesn't. There's no, there's nothing came from this as far as like, oh well, you could. That's actually kind of cool because like the fight sequences to me were as generic as you could possibly plan out a fight sequence. They were, it's just there was nothing special about anything about this except, and I think Chris, you're right, J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
So he's the one. So if you're going to recommend this, you're like, I don't really like that movie, but J.K. Simmons is great as Santa Claus. But if you're going to go
Yeah.
down that route, you should be like, after you watch that, then watch Fat Man with Mel Gibson, also great as Santa Claus. You know what I mean?
One of those you can watch with your kids, maybe. One of those you can't.
I would argue
The one's questionable. The other one's off the table.
I would argue probably. I mean, if your kids are young enough, like your youngest, Chris, I'd imagine you probably wouldn't want her watching this.
No.
No.
I don't think she would be interested, nor do I think it'd be appropriate. But
But your older
oldest one
daughter,
probably
sure. It's
could.
like,
Yeah, probably. If I didn't, I don't care about language in movies and stuff like that. Like to a degree, of course. But they can't watch Deadpool, but they can watch Marvel movies at this point if they want to.
Sure.
It's fine.
No, it's fine.
That kind of deal.
That's fair.
Yeah, but I guess the same for this one. They can watch it, but they're not going to want to. I think my oldest would enjoy it because she's generous to everything, but like it's not. She's not gonna be like, this is my favorite. She's gonna. I'm gonna ask her, is this your new favorite Christmas movie? She goes, no, Dad, it's the Grinch, and she's gonna look at me like I'm stupid.
Hold on, which
as you
Grinch?
deserve, as you deserve.
The original animated and the CGI'd one, not the Jim Carrey one. They've never seen that one. That one would scare them.
So the Benedict Cumberbatch one.
Cumberbatch,
Yes, yeah.
So I was gonna say like, because I was gonna do like a quick 2-second discussion of like movies that were Christmas related that
Yeah.
disappointed you.
Yeah.
And like that movie is one that sticks out in my mind as I thought was going to be so much better.
Cumberbatch one?
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Well, here's the thing: it's fine, but I
Yeah.
expected it to be great.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah, but this one was fine, and I expected it to be fine. So
Yeah.
this one's not surprising.
Okay.
no, this one falls right in line where I thought it was. I figured it was going to be bad.
Yeah.
I was not surprised when I thought it was bad.
Yeah. So Grayson, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
This or Christmas Chronicles 2?
Ooh, the second one was so bad.
Okay. Here's the answer to your question. If I have to watch another one right now, it's going to be Red One. Hands
Okay.
down.
Okay.
Chris,
Okay.
I was just give me 1 second here. The Christmas Chronicles I thought was a nice little movie. Kurt Russell, I think
The first one's good, man. I like it.
There's another Chris. Your recommendations of well, after you watch those two, then watch for a very different reason. Christmas Chronicles. Kurt Russell's actually great as Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really liked him, but like then they took the movie where it just they had a nice little charming movie and they tried to do more with it that never should have been, and that's where you get Christmas Chronicles 2. Fair point. But if I had to watch another one right now, it'd be Red One.
Okay.
But Christmas Chronicles, the first one, by far better than
By
both
far,
of them.
yeah. I hear you.
Definitely.
Well, like where? Okay, well, let me ask you this: if as far as like iconography is concerned, I guess it may be an unfair question, but like Red One or like the Santa Claus?
I mean, the original Santa Claus is a superior movie to this.
Yeah, that's an actually good film, though.
I mean, when you get up into like the Santa Claus 3, when we get a little bit of like
Jack Frost and stuff involved.
Yeah,
in
and
that.
like like Nazi toy soldier people.
God.
Because like I wish that wasn't. Listen, I wish that was a joke.
When
Watch
in
the
doubt.
movie. Tell me I'm wrong.
And down, Nazi out. Yeah. I mean, like, you're never gonna.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No one's ever gonna be like, oh, those. But I like Nazis. You shouldn't make them. No, they're always the villains. If you know.
Yep.
But the Santa Claus to me is like it's a movie that's very timeless and you can watch it over and over again. But that movie has refinement. It has, I think I read there was like 19 different versions of the script. How many different drafts of Red One do you think were written? This is a serious question.
1.
Yeah, I don't think they ever
Red 1.
They never second guessed this thing.
I mean, there has to be. You're not going to at least 2 or 3, but 2 or 3 is almost nothing for like a studio film. There's so many different drafts of film of script.
I think the only thing they would have second guessed in this movie is how they bring everyone together. Like,
sure, and I can
like
see
how they started the film with our hacker, with Chris Evans' character, and like how he gets to where he's in with them. Maybe that's what they kind of like had to toy around with, and then how the son and him get in the same place. I think that they're together in the same place because they had a convenient plot device with the snow globe that they created to make that happen.
So, I think it's funny that you think there's an actual script for this movie
You think-
instead of just a storyboard that they worked off of.
they're just checking the storyboard between takes and shit. Maybe.
I mean, some movies have done that, certainly. But I know for a fact there was a script for this. I saw it before a year and a half ago. As a matter of fact. But I mean, it's just one of those things that it's just a tough. But like, I can't remember that going back to when I first saw it, when I first got to the building in Atlanta to start Bad Boys. Like coming to here now is like, this is the product of
Yes.
all the cool artwork I got and like all the super cool mock-ups and cool sets I saw on the side of the walls there. It's like, this is the product that we got, which means my next question: do you think there's a longer version of this? And
Yes.
Oh yeah.
how much longer is the question?
There's a 2-hour and 45-minute version of this.
So I bet you, and this is something I actually thought about quite a bit after I watched this movie, is how many other mythical beings do you think that they brought in at some point and then got cut?
Mm-hmm. Jack Frost was in this movie. They just never called him out. He's in the castle with what's his name? The bad Santa Claus. What's his name?
Krampus?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
Jack Frost is in Krampus's castle when
Okay.
they're there. He's like at just one of the tables. He's got like iced back hair and shit.
Nice.
So like they have there's other creatures that are a part of
I
this.
mean, we see the Headless Horseman. So,
Yep.
like, the Easter bunnies rolling around there
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah. They mentioned the Easter Bunny.
Yeah,
at
they
some
do.
point, don't they? So yeah,
There's got to be some leprechaun work.
yeah.
going on
Oh
there.
yeah,
there
that's
is.
an easy one to call out and do. Yep, Conan's probably playing him too, so it's
Sure.
fine. So like, there's like, yeah, no, absolutely. There's a version of this that's much longer with more of the mythological side in it.
What's the Japanese one? What is that? I don't remember. What
I
it's
don't know.
called.
And if
I
there
can't
is,
answer that.
do you think that at some point this was meant to be like franchisable? Like,
Oh, buddy, there's a Red 2. They already wrote that out.
You mean Chat GPT'd it out?
I mean, hold on. What's the difference?
the level of refinement is something you just lack from these, for the majority for these big budget streaming films. It's just they don't have the talent to do it.
No.
I'm not saying be like Chris Morgan and the director Jake Kasdan. Like they've done some other things that were not bad. So like, I mean, I'm a guy that like I want to see everything be great, but like I'm also not a guy who's like the studio's like, well, do you want $15 million for directing this script we have? Like I don't know if like all my morals would go out the wall. Like yeah, sure, I'll do that. Shit, why not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes, they would.
I'll do it for 7.
Yeah.
Like
You just undercut yourself.
yeah.
I can't believe you're going to pay me to do this. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah, and then
know.
so that is franchisable, and there is a longer version of this, and like,
I think so.
do you think they offer it on? Do you think they offer on streaming like Red One Director's Cut? Like, do you think they offer that?
No, I don't think so because they don't want you to see anything else about this movie than what they put out.
You don't think we get Red 1 unrated?
No, well, I mean,
Unrated. Holy shit! Whoa!
I would have thought that was a joke, but there's an F word in this movie.
Sure.
So like it's not like now it's not too much of it's not as much of a joke as it was before I saw it.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I'd watch the NC-17 version of this movie.
Well,
once they get the Krampus, dude, I'm all in.
So my last question is:
He's got a lot of abs.
Got a lot of milking.
What is the Netflix and Hulu versions of, or sorry, what is the Netflix of this version of this movie look like?
Cost $800 million.
Christmas Chronicles 2 for $600 million. Yeah.
No, I mean, does it look better? Does it look worse? Is Krampus in it? Like, what is it?
No. So, like, all jokes aside, I figured they pummel the same product, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nothing about this screams Amazon. This just screams streaming film.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
I mean,
it really is.
well, here's the thing, though. You say that like it doesn't scream generic, shitty action movie that we've seen 1,000 times, too.
Yeah, I said the same thing just with different words.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, no, you're
Now
right.
I think about it, you're correct. Yes, I defer to Chris on this one. Yes.
I appreciate it.
So, I mean, what do you guys have any final thoughts?
No. Listen, like, I don't think this movie's a waste of. I know you went and said it was a waste of your time. I don't feel like it was a complete waste of time. But like, look, if I watch this again, probably not anytime soon. Anyway,
Yeah.
Like, if it was available to watch on Christmas Day, I probably wouldn't even turn it on.
Yeah. Again, like this movie's fine. It did exactly what it wants to do. It got you from the beginning to the middle of the end. It's cool. Like there's some cool looking set pieces in this. I don't think they were going for perfection. I think they were going for good enough, and they hit good enough out of the park in this movie, man.
They hit okay-ish.
Yeah, they borrowed a whole bunch of shit. They put it on screen. They made it look. They glossed it over as much as they could. It has streaming quality CGI in it. Take that for what you will. And that's the movie we got.
Sure
Again,
do.
the best part of this movie is the end sequence, but it doesn't make up for the other 2 hours you got to watch. If that's what you want to see. It like, I don't know. I hope that if they do something like this again, they find the good, ditch the bad, and put together something a little bit better. But time will tell when Red 1-2 comes out in 2028. So
You think they'd call it Red 1-2?
No,
they call it Red 2, right?
Of course, Red 2. But then it sounds like
I'm very keen on Red 1 also.
Or Red Hawk Down is what they'll call it.
But then you'd have that person who's like, Red 1, Red 2. Is this a Star Wars movie? What's going on here?
Oh God, yeah.
Whole nother franchise.
Yes, it is.
Well,
what about you, Grayson?
Well, final thoughts is I'm disappointed more than if I'm going to use words to describe how I'm feeling about this: confused, angry, disappointed. Those are the three.
Going through the stages of guilt right here with this movie.
That's right. They're like bargaining and
felt a lot of these at puberty as well.
Yeah.
It's just I don't understand. You have excellent talent. You have like A-list talent, and many of them.
The streaming films that we watch, for the majority of them at this point, is a great example of just because you pay money for the talent doesn't mean you're going to get a good film.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
That too, but it's like, like just because you've paid for the talent, that doesn't mean your movie's going to be successful. There has to be, I'm going to say it, passion behind the project.
Ooh,
and
that's a dirty word.
That's what pulls forward all of the good feel and the positive like momentum that a movie needs to really be something great, I think. And it's not here. It is what it is.
I agree. I feel that the reconnecting of him and his son it was they
just
wasted. It was wasted. They didn't arrive there like organically. Like it's almost like, well, they're like, oh well, now let's just get it there so we can end the movie kind of. It just
it was like, okay, we're in Act 3, guys. How do we get these guys together? And then it kind of happens. Yeah, I think that come Christmas time, I'll be watching. The
Christmas episode of Ted Lasso, like you should.
Yeah,
actually, honestly, that's part of the rotation at this point. I think we're probably the Guardian of the Galaxy Christmas.
Sure, that's solid too. Very solid.
I'm gonna watch the Grinch movie that is mediocre at best, but I think it's pretty good.
Hey, if you like it, man, it's
fine. I think that's gonna be the Christmas rotation. It's just gonna
not Christmas Vacation.
Ooh,
I have a fondness for.
I'm not a big so those old school Christmas movies, didn't really watch them growing up besides like the Grinch, but like that's like a 25-minute Christmas special. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like Die Hard.
I don't think I'm watching Die Hard with the fam yet. Not there yet.
that
always next year, baby.
That age-old question: is it a Christmas movie, or does it take place, or is it a movie that takes place at Christmas?
I mean, technically, Die Hard 2 also falls in the same category.
So does Lethal Weapon, and do that as well too. So
I'm down with all those being Christmas movies. It just adds to the quality.
You sit around and watch the Power Rangers Christmas special on repeat.
Also good.
Weird, but good. Okay. Yeah, now we're going.
That's the weird part.
Yeah. That does it for us on episode 4 of
I fucking hate it here.
Credits Podcast, a podcast where we talk about movies. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us, and we will have all of our stuff up on the socials in weeks to come. We haven't quite decided how we're going to post all of these, but if you're listening to this, that means they're already posted.
That they're here, baby.
Yeah, I mean, you found it somehow.
Like, comment, subscribe, click the button, baby.
Do all the things. Help us do the things.
Tell us that we have shitty movie takes.
Yeah.
That's fine. You're probably right.
Yeah. Do that too.
But don't watch Red 1 again. It's a waste of time.
I mean, or do.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Up to you.
It's your life. Live it, brother.
All right, we're out. Jeez.